Thank you so much for chatting with me today. I just want to let you know we're being recorded, so I have to say
Okay.
that, and you're consenting.
Yep.
Awesome. So yeah, I'm so excited to hear what's going on. I know we're doing a mini session today. So what would you like some coaching around?
Yes. I've been really struggling pretty much since the pandemic with productivity. Like, I feel like it really took a turn for the worse when things were like bad 2020, 2021. But we're like kind of getting out of the pandemic now, and my productivity hasn't really come back. So I'm just having a weird hard time like focusing. Like, I don't feel like I'm as focused or as like driven as I was a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
As a freelancer, that's really bad. Like, I definitely need to be more focused so that like I don't know. I constantly feel like I'm not doing great work like I used to be doing, if that makes sense.
Like in what way? Like what ways have you noticed that it's changed?
I feel like like most obvious, I think, to my clients is that my turnaround time is a little slower. Like, I always used to pride myself in, if people, and I have multiple clients. So if people emailed me or texted me, I'd get back to them right away. And then I could turn something around like super fast. Like, that was kind of like my bread and butter. And lately I've just been it's just been so hard to find the motivation to do that, that if I see a task come in or like a request from them, I'll be like, okay, I got it, no problem. But then I might procrastinate for like 5 hours. And then at the end of my day, I'm just like rushed. So I know like I'm not doing the best work I can, but I'm just having a really hard time motivating myself to get moving again.
So just out of curiosity, when you noticed that happening to you during the pandemic, like
Mhm.
what was the root of that, do you think?
It's a really good question. Back then, like years ago, I was just exhausted. Like, I think the whole world was exhausted for like a minute there. How we were all so overwhelmed. I was like emotionally overwhelmed. I had COVID too, so I was also hospitalized, which was a super stressful period of my life. And could probably do some more emotional digging there, but I was just so exhausted. Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is during the pandemic, there was obviously a shift. There was an emotional shift, there was a physical shift, you had a lot going on. Now the world is kind of like quote unquote back to normal. You're feeling good,
Mm-hmm.
but there's something. So where do you want to be? Like where do you want your productivity to be?
Well, I feel like you already said something that I was like, oh yeah, that kind of rings true. I feel like the rest of the world is moving on, and in a way, emotionally, like I'm not, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
Um,
So what does that feel like for you? Like in what way are you not?
I think I'm just like like everything else life wise, I'm starting to get back to. Like, I'm just now at the end of 2022 starting to like go back to restaurants, which is crazy because like people have been like getting back to normal routine things for so long. So I feel like in some way I'm a little behind. So I'm finally just getting back to that. But like work wise, I would love to be that person again that I was before the pandemic, where I could seriously just like wake up, have a cup of coffee, have a little like decompress morning time to myself, and then be focused. Like, really, like I used to be able to just sit at my laptop and like bang out work and feel really good about it and feel like my turnaround time was fast and just feel like I was like doing my best work. I guess I just want to feel, I just want to feel like I'm doing a good job again. If that
So
makes sense.
I want to offer something because you said something really powerful that I don't
Hmm.
even know if you realize that you said. Like, so you said the rest of the world is moving on and you're just taking a little longer. You know,
Yeah.
you're like, I just started going back to restaurants. I just started. And you said, and maybe that's kind of silly. I don't think that's silly at all. And so I just want to like remind you,
Really.
you're your own person. You're not in a timeline. There's no timeline. You're not like competing with anyone. And that pandemic for you, what I'm hearing, because you had COVID pretty bad, you had a
Mhm.
lot going on, and you're your own person. And we all process and we all grieve and we all come out of our stuff at different times. So if it's taking you a little longer,
You're making me
that's okay.
cry.
And that's okay. Because even that is that's a nervous system. That's your nervous system having a release. because just be I would just offer as a reflection, just be patient with yourself because
Even just hearing you say you're your own person, you can take your time.
yeah,
I
and
mean,
give
look at these
yourself
tears.
permission. I know, babe. And you know what? Give yourself permission. Because I think too, if I could offer a reflection, and I think this is really normal. We're in business, we're trying to do well, and we want to compare ourselves. But you're not the rest of the world, you're Erin. And if Erin needs an extra year to like get her footing back, can you
God,
give your
that
can
makes me
you
feel so much relief.
can you give yourself permission to just be okay with turning around work a little slower still?
My God, yes. Even just hearing you say that, I just felt like this whole body release. I honestly
Oh,
can't
I
believe
love
you
that.
just found that pain point that fast. It's been like 5 minutes. And I really like even just feel like a physical lifting in my chest.
So close your eyes for a minute and just like put your hand on your chest
Okay.
and just take a deep inhale and then exhale and just take a couple slow deep breaths. And as you breathe, kind of just like feel your eyes soften and feel your shoulders soften. Excuse all the background noise. I apologize for that. Just
No, it's fine.
take a deep breath. Feel your seat on your chair and just remind yourself like it's okay. Are you comfortable verbally saying, I accept where I'm at?
Oh yeah. Okay. Oh, it's funny because I'm like, yeah, I'm comfortable saying that, but it actually feels very uncomfortable. But
Yeah.
I was not expecting that reaction. I accept where I'm at.
So I'm going to share something. I'm going to share a mental fitness tool with you. So
Okay.
I'm a firm believer that our brain, the best antidote for anxiety is action. Our
Okay.
brain, that's why I believe like words of affirmation, while they're great, they're not going to fix us because words are just words. We have to show our brain we're taking action and create a new neural pathway.
Okay.
So our energy flows, our energy goes where our attention flows. If your attention is like, I'm not where I used to be, I'm not how I used to be, right? We are reinforcing that neural pathway. When
Okay.
you feel that discomfort,
Mm-hmm.
get comfortable being uncomfortable and take
Okay.
action because our brain doesn't understand language, our brain understands action. So
Okay.
a little homework assignment, quote unquote, homework
Okay.
assignment for you is this week when you feel discomfort or you start finding yourself shoulding yourself or anything like I should be doing this, I should be doing that. Just take an action. It doesn't even have to be work. It could be taking a walk, it could be breathing, it could be making healthy food and just be mindful. So
Oh,
just take a
interesting.
break, reconnect to your body
Okay.
and tell your brain these thoughts are not important to me anymore. I'm doing something different now. Because if you
Oh, I
want to
love that.
Yeah. So if you want your life to be different than it's ever been, you have to do things different than you've ever done. And part of doing that is by taking action. So a lot of times we end up deepening the neuro pathway of like,
Mhm.
ooh, I'm not where I used to be. I'm not where I used to be. I'm not where I used to be. Well, we've now trained our brain to be like, hey, I'm not where I used to be. And I'm going to give you more thoughts about how we're not where we used to be. Where if
That
you
actually makes perfect sense because I've been telling myself this for years now, repeatedly.
right, and that's okay. And so even you saying like putting your hand on your heart, having like an uncomfortable feeling, like even that's
Mhm.
okay. And it's that discomfort that you go, okay, I'm uncomfortable right now. I'm gonna take a deep breath. I'm gonna take 5 minutes away from my computer. I'm gonna make healthy food. I'm gonna take a walk around the block. I'm gonna go hug Tanya, whatever it is. Take an
Love.
action that's different and whatever action you take, be really mindful. Or
Okay.
maybe it's like going, you know what?
Okay.
I want to take an action towards something I want to grow in my life, right? And just start
Mhm.
to show your brain these thoughts aren't that important to me anymore.
I love
And
that.
simultaneously just accepting like it's okay to take your time. If it takes you another year to get back on track, it's okay.
That seems so simple, but even you hearing, like, even you verbalizing that again, and I can feel everything get tighter. So I obviously need to do some emotional check-ins with myself, and I will keep telling myself that it's
Well, it's
okay.
taking action. And it's like
Oh my
when you
gosh.
find
Okay.
so this is interesting because I'm taking this call. I'm at the jujitsu gym right now, right? And
Mhm.
so one thing I love about jujitsu is you learn how to be comfortable being uncomfortable. Somebody's choking you, someone's smushing you. It's really
Okay.
uncomfortable. And over time, you learn how to just breathe through it,
Oh,
right?
that is
And
interesting.
so
Okay.
when you feel that uncomfortable feeling and the temptation to loop on that story comes, I would challenge you to
Mhm.
just try taking a mindful action.
Okay.
Sometimes it helps me to even just like verbally say aloud, like, wow, I am really uncomfortable right now, and I don't need to understand why. I'm not going to try to make feelings feel better. I'm not trying to fight it. I just accept it. And I'm going to go bake some cookies and mindfully do that. Or I'm going to go, work on a song I've been working on, whatever it is.
I love that you verbalized that because I think things out the thing that's going to be like the catalyst for me to make change. So I'm glad you said that because I noticed that I was already like just like thinking about different things and you were like, no, take action. So thank you for bringing me back to that point. I think I'm going to have to
Yeah.
tell myself like I'm uncomfortable. I'm
And
going
it's
to do something
okay.
different
And
and it's okay.
it's okay to be uncomfortable. Like when you normally face discomfort, what do you do?
Mhm. I try to avoid discomfort at all points in my life completely.
You and
So,
everybody. You and everybody. So what we
okay.
do is we develop compulsions or impulses.
Yes.
Compulsions like I'm going to check my phone, I'm going to check social media, I'm going to take a
Oh my
nap.
God. Yes, I've actually been doing those things more frequently, which is why I wanted to talk to you because it's been like a big shift, even in the last couple months, that I've been more like going to social media because I can just tune out, or like I've been more tired and taking more naps for sure. So that actually makes perfect sense.
And those are coping
Ugh,
skills we create to make feelings feel better. So if we can shift a little bit and say, I don't really need to make feelings feel better because having like emotions, think of emotions as energy in motion. They pass
okay.
through you. But our
Okay.
brain, what does our brain do? To protect us, our brain gives us uncomfortable bodily sensations
Hmm.
and negative thoughts. And so we react to those. We're like, oh my God, I don't like feeling this way. I don't like doing this. Right. And then we,
Yeah.
like you said, we create coping skills or, whether it's,
Yeah.
checking the phone, whatever it might be for you. We all have different compulsions.
Yeah. No, that's so interesting. And I don't think I even realized I was doing that more until I just verbalized it to you, but it's definitely been a noticeable increase. I really like your homework of taking action because it seems simple, but I like genuinely think it's going to be work, but
Well,
it's
if you can do something simple, to help you move the energy forward, what I
mhm.
often have clients do is make a garden of values. So think of actions that you value. You have fun with it. You can like put it on paper and put stickers and paint it and make it like your fancy garden and make bullets. So let's say you have 5 bullets in your garden and it's maybe physical exercise, growing my business, relationships, you know, spirituality, whatever. And
Yeah.
then under those bullets, make little bullets. Like physical exercise could be walking, riding my bike, taking
Okay.
karate, like, spirituality could be meditating, like
Huh.
whatever. Start to think of things that
Okay.
you value. Then
Okay.
when you start to notice, because now we're having this conversation, we're bringing these thoughts from the unconscious to the conscious mind. So now when you
Mhm.
consciously go, oh, isn't that interesting? I'm grabbing my phone again and I'm beating myself up for not being productive. Okay, let me look at my garden of values and pick something that I want to work on right now to show my brain that
Love that.
I'm not a slave to these compulsions anymore.
That's such a great tip because I know if I don't have a plan, and this
Yeah.
is true for my business too, if I don't have a plan that I can just turn to quickly, I won't do anything at all. So I love that suggestion. I can
Yeah.
definitely do that.
And you know what? If you want to move the energy forward,
Mhm.
just how do you think this week you can best do that?
Oh,
Like, 'cause
that's such a good question.
you have a lot going on this week. So I always tell people don't judge yourself and don't give yourself more than you can handle. So how could
Yeah.
you commit to like yourself to moving the energy forward this week?
Okay. That's such a good question. And it is a crazy week. So I'm still I'm still watching a dog for the next couple days.
Mm-hmm.
She's about to get a lot more walks because I love being outside and I love reconnecting with nature. But right now I pretty much just take her on like a morning walk, evening walk, and hang out in it. But that would be great. Like it'd be so easy, and I really think that'll help me get out of my own head.
Do you know when I started this work, I probably took Cheyenne on like 50 walks a day. Because it was
Really?
like, I need to shift my energy right now. My energy is
Yeah.
so outward, my energy is scattered, and I need to bring it back to myself. So when you go take your dog for a walk, make it a mindful walk. Like,
Okay.
because if you're walking and you're still looping and ruminating about all the
Yeah,
things,
that's true.
that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to repattern. So
Mhm.
when you take the dog on a walk, feel your shoes, your feet in your shoes, your hand on the leash, like feel your dog's fur, the breeze on your face, feel your muscles moving your legs, and just, it doesn't matter if it takes 50 or 100 times, keep just bringing the energy back to yourself.
I love that. Okay, I can definitely do that. That feels very doable and
Awesome.
very good. And I think I can also incorporate saying things out loud like, it's okay, I need to take a walk right now, and it's okay to feel how I'm feeling. Like I think I can, that feels totally doable to me.
So the biggest thing I can leave you with is just to remember that your brain is your best friend. You're right. So we
Okay. I've never
train
heard
our,
anyone tell me that before. Okay.
it's true. Your brain is your best friend. So when our brain is like, oh my God, I'm not productive, I'm, whatever the feelings are and the thoughts are, we've trained our brain. We've told our brain through our actions, this is what I want to focus on. This is what's important to me. So our brain is like, oh, I'm Erin's best friend. I'm going to give her all the thoughts about how she's not productive because that's what she likes to focus on. So your
Oh my
brain
God.
is like, I'm just
That
doing
makes
what
so
you
much
told me to
sense.
do. So when you start to shift your energy, so let's say you start getting these thoughts of like, oh, I'm a failure, I'm beating myself up, whatever the thoughts or feelings are, and instead you don't respond to them and you take a walk and you take a mindful walk and you make food and you do other things. Within a few days,
Oh.
your brain is like, oh, well, this isn't that important to
Oh.
Erin anymore. And I'm her best friend. So I'm going to give her thoughts about walking the dog and building her coaching business and doing her VA work
Oh my God,
quickly.
that makes so much sense. Our brains are like algorithms, and I keep
Yeah.
hitting on the wrong channel. Oh my
Yes,
God, no, that makes so much sense.
exactly.
That
Think of
makes
your
so much
brain like the
sense.
TikTok algorithm.
Okay.
You're
Okay.
making a video about VA work, but your algorithm is telling it to go to karate class or something. You're hashtagging
Okay.
the wrong thing.
Yeah. Okay. That totally clicks. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So
And I
when
think
you
I've been doing
notice,
that for years. Okay.
yeah. So when you notice those thoughts and feelings, just go, oh, isn't that interesting? I accept being a part of the human experience is having uncomfortable feelings. I feel uncomfortable. I
Wow.
need to fix it. Come on, Rebel, let's go for a walk.
I
Or I'm going to open my email and tackle this VA task. Even
right.
though I'm uncomfortable and unfocused, I'm going to do it.
Right. Wow. Okay. Okay. All right. I can definitely do that.
That's where the work starts. And I
Okay.
and so if you want, happy to check in a week or two and see just how you're doing.
That'd be awesome, actually. I would love that.
Because
I would love that because having some accountability would be great.
and it seems like, wow, it can't be that simple. It's really that simple. To rewire is really that simple. And so
Okay.
yeah. And so, but the biggest thing too is just not judging yourself and not beating yourself up, because just reminding yourself as well, it's a compulsion, it's an impulse to beat yourself up.
Mm.
You are exactly where you need to be. It doesn't matter if the
You.
whole world has moved on and let it take you as long as it takes you.
Okay.
So
That does make me feel better.
your
I have
word
to
for the
say
day
here.
is
Oh, I
acceptance.
get a word.
Your
Okay.
word is acceptance.
That makes me feel very uncomfortable.
And that's okay, because what are
And
we
I will go take a
practicing?
walk because that
Yeah.
word makes me feel uncomfortable. But
Yeah.
that's really powerful. And I have to admit, the way that you like very quickly identified something that I really wasn't aware of emotionally that was like running in the back of my mind, and the way that you very like calmly and compassionately and kindly
Oh, thank you.
Like that's just those are the words coming to my mind how I feel right now. Like you're just so
Thank you.
compassionate in the way that you were able to just walk me through next steps without judgment or shame or anything. That is a really beautiful thing.
I appreciate that so much. Thank you so much. Because I want to share with you quickly. I know both of us probably have other meetings, but like I just want to share with you quickly that I am so passionate about this work because I've been there and I had anxiety so bad before I started my own walk into this coaching journey that I couldn't focus. I was like head in the clouds, foggy brain, taking naps, checking social
Totally.
media 1,000 times a day, and couldn't, had to call 10 people to talk about why I feel so anxious. And it was like, the more I did those actions, my brain was like, oh, all this stuff is really important to Lara. I'm going to give her more anxiety and
Uh,
more discomfort and more adrenaline. It wasn't until I learned the emotional fitness to go, okay, I need to
mhm.
stop this in its tracks. And it took a solid like month of doing the internal work. The first
Mhm.
3 days felt like quitting smoking. It was like, oh my God.
Wow.
Like it's because it's we're trying to kind of rapidly rewire. So at any point you have a question
Mhm.
or you're like, I'm feeling discouraged, message me.
Awesome. I will. Awesome.
Yeah.
I feel hopeful, I think, for the first time in a very long time. Because I was kind of just feeling like maybe this was my new norm, but
Your
I don't
new
want it
norm,
to be.
your new norm is whatever you want it to be. You're
I like that.
never stuck. We're only stuck because we've told our brain we're stuck. So our brain's
Ugh,
like, oh, Erin keeps thinking she's stuck. I'm going to keep telling her that she's stuck. Your
I
brain's
guess
your
I
best
just needed
friend.
to hear that. My brain is being an asshole. No,
I remember telling my coach, well, my brain feels like my enemy. And he said, no, your
yeah.
brain is your best friend.
Wow.
It's doing what you trained it to do. It's training you to wonder what your boyfriend's doing. It's training you to wonder who like,
Wow.
whatever, all the things, right?
Yeah. No, that actually makes a lot of sense. That we've trained our brains to just give us more hits of whatever we wanted. Okay, that's really interesting.
Because
But
that's where I think of your energy flows where your attention goes.
yeah,
And so
that is.
so action is the antidote to anxiety. I was telling another client recently, I'm like, if you tell yourself every day I'm going to go to the gym, but you don't
Mhm.
actually go, you're not doing anything. You have to actually take the action of going,
Yeah,
And
that
mental
makes
fitness is like physical fitness. It's going to start, start with 5 pound weights, take your walk as many times as you need to.
Oh, I love that. Oh, that actually that makes a lot of sense too.
Yeah. Thank you
I'm
so much
feeling
for,
hopeful. Thank you. I
thank
still can't believe you
you.
identified such like an emotional point that I didn't even know was there so quickly. So thank you. So